If all else fails for me, I mean, I'll just get me a little
man cave.
No, a little black couch right there, and then start doing, casting couch content. Let's get started. Well, welcome to the R to the J podcast, and today we have a special guest. We have here El Guero, Walt. How you doing, Walt?
What's up, bro?
Appreciate you coming here.
Oh, no problem, man.
Well, Carl, I understand you're doing podcasts as well.
Yeah, kind of started that journey not too long ago. I like to say that mine was born in a bar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so like I do the Hey Guero podcast, as you know, and man, for about a year or so, people would be like, man, you need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast. I was like, all right, I'll do a podcast. And so that's where Hey Guero was born. We talk about everything from relationships to business to just whatever you would talk about at a happy hour at Dylan's, basically.
Yeah. And you have the voice for it as well, too. You have very,
I don't think so, but nobody likes the sound of their own voice.
Oh, trust me, when I heard my own voice, it's like, oh, damn, you sound like a bitch.
Yeah.
You
one thing about having a podcast I can tell you is I'm tired of hearing my voice and I'm tired of seeing my face.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true, yeah. But you get the personality as well, too. You're very out there going and stuff like that.
I try to be.
Yeah. And I guess that's one reason why I kind of want to start this journey as well, too, just to put myself out there, too. You know, it's pretty much like, let's say, trying to, when you say, what's that saying? Oh, I was getting too comfortable.
Yeah.
I was going, after work, go work out, then come home, and then, okay, what's it?
Well, you got to do stuff outside your comfort zone,
yeah.
Right? That's a lot of people. Look, probably, you've got haters out there. I've got haters out there.
Definitely.
People who make fun.
Hey, but you got to have haters, though. If you don't have haters, you ain't doing nothing right then.
1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you'll never hit a home run if you never swing a bat. So you got to, and that's kind of the same thing, that I did.
Yeah.
It's a little uncomfortable in the beginning, and you don't know anything about it, and so you want to do it, and we just did it. And I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the saying that every man understands that he has two lives, and the second one starts after he realizes he only has one.
Yep.
So, little short story on me. I had COVID really bad in 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was put in the hospital for 14 days. Doctor didn't think I was making it out.
Dang.
Yeah, I was in bad shape. So yeah, this myth that COVID only affects obese people who have diabetes and stuff who are over 60, not true. So I developed bilateral pneumonia. So I had pneumonia in both of my lungs and I couldn't breathe. And when you get out of a situation like that, you kind of your perspective changes a little. Yeah. So. Now when I want to do something, I do it because I don't want to be 80 years old if I make it that long.
And then regret it.
Yeah, regret it. I don't want to have that.
Yeah. Because I forget. I always forget people's name when they make a quote, and even sometimes a quote. But it was a motivational speaker where I think his last name was Brown. Mm-hmm. Where he was saying where the most richest place is at the graveyard.
Yeah, well, there's no U-Haul attacked to a hearse.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So
yeah, but you gotta think about all the dreams and things they could have done when they were alive, but they didn't do.
Right, that's it. And so, like you said, you got to get out there and you got to be uncomfortable. There's a lot of things, outside of fear. Once you get right past that fear thing, yeah, there's a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. And so, somebody asked me the other day, one of the guys that I do a lot of business with, he's like, "What's the end goal for the podcast? Is the podcast, are you going to eventually sell it? What's the end goal?" Like, man, I ain't got that far yet. Yeah, we're 3 episodes or 5 episodes in, and it's like, hey, I'm not thinking about that. Yeah, I wanted to try it, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. I'm just in for the journey right now and see what's going to happen. Yeah. You never know. I mean, it might go well, it might not,
And plus, Southeast Texas needs podcasts that talk about us in this area.
Exactly.
100%.
That's one reason. One thing I was thinking about starting this, like just to get the community involved together.
Well, that's why reality TV did so well.
Yeah.
Right? Because people like to see reality. Well, Dylan's and Sky Bar and, all these Mexican restaurants around here and like all the stuff that we love to do.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
And so we like to watch us.
Yeah. If all else fails for me, I mean, I'll just get me a little
man cave.
No, a little black couch right there, and then start doing, casting couch content. You ain't gonna have us no more Walt here, no more Rich, Vito, Andy. You're gonna see Mercedes, Porsche. Porsche, I mean, they might not look like a Porsche, they might look like a Suburban or something like that. But yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's all we could do.
That's it, man. Do it till you don't want to do it no more, man.
Yeah, and then how we met through Judy, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, listen, I'm really big on like extending friend circles, right?
Yeah.
And Judy's got this saying that she'll come in and steal all your friends. Well, I just did the same thing to her.
Mm-hmm.
So we met through Judy, and I've met a lot of people through Judy.
Yeah.
And I met Judy through somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't like me at first. If you ever watched her podcast episode,
I watched some of it.
Yeah.
The same here. I mean, I was like, she gave my nerves sometimes, but then she grew on me. She grew on me. I mean, she didn't grow, but she grew on me.
Yeah, she didn't grow.
Yeah.
I've always, Judy's got a good vibe. I've always hung out with Judy, and my wife respects her, and we have a good time when we go out.
No, yeah, she's a good friend. I was there. I haven't hanged out with them for a while, just because I've been busy doing all of this stuff. That's another reason I want to do that. Just keep me occupied.
Yeah, you get to meet new people too. Have you ventured out yet and got like people outside of your normal friend group?
I'm trying to right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to, but right now I think the hardest thing is that getting people in. Because like you said, a lot of people are not comfortable.
Right. So yeah, that's what I tell people. I get people all the time, like friends. Hey man, put me on your podcast. I want to be on your podcast. I'm like, hey, things change when I put a camera in front of your face and 2 4-foot tall, 6 foot wide lights in front of you. Things, people get,
yeah.
And so, it's hard to get people, oh, well, I don't want to do it on video. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you're going to have to.
Yeah. Or sometimes they say, okay, I'm down. But then you reach out again, they're like crickets.
Yeah.
You hear nothing. Like, well, on to the next guest.
Yeah. That, fortunately we haven't, on my side of things, we haven't run into that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But again, how many topics can you come up with in Southeast Texas? We're going to find out.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out everything. Equipment wise.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like using?
So Mike's, our setup's pretty, I won't say fancy, but we didn't spare any expense. We got the Shure SMB7 mics, which is what Joe Rogan uses.
Yeah, it's almost everybody uses, right? Those.
Yeah, but those are some expensive mics. You're looking at about $450 a pop.
Yeah.
And we got a mixing board. That thing's $700. I'm probably $3,000 into a podcast.
Oh, okay, and that's the equipment alone.
That's equipment, setup. Got furniture.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And what people don't really realize, and now I think you realize, is the editing process takes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of computer bandwidth. I mean, your computer's just not, I have a guy, like I'm fortunate. I got a guy on my staff that he'll take care of that. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's what he does. I actually do 2 podcasts, one for my business and Hey Wedo, the one for here.
Oh, okay.
And so like most of his days, in a week is consumed by cutting and editing a podcast, which is merging the audio with the video, and then making sure that those exactly match up, and cutting those down to clips, and because TikTok takes a certain size video versus Instagram versus Facebook.
Yeah, I seen some of you put his shorts as well too. Yeah. I've seen them. It's like, damn, he did doing a good job right there. Yeah. It's like, man, I need to step up.
But see,
my game.
I've got help. I've got people on salary.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that. Not everybody can do that. Yeah. So, it's very time consuming. And like just one of my episodes, just like the last episode that I did was a 3-hour upload to YouTube, just to get it to YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't count the upload to the cloud to get him to be able to work on it. Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, like just the time it takes just for all of that. 100%.
Editing.
It's a time investment on your part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the best equipment that I like, or I mean, sure and we have multiple camera angles, and that can be.
Oh, you got more than one camera?
No, but there's a little trick I can show you. You get a good camera, you can get multiple camera angles from one camera.
Okay. I think it's the way where you could make the image bigger or something like that. It's kind of
Yeah, basically you got to zoom down images like you normally have, and then zoom. And then we use a lot of AI to help edit, and so the AI recognizes who's talking and cuts it back and forth.
Oh, really? I might need to get that software. Oh, actually, what's that software?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that free software for now? Is that a free trial or anything? You got to pay, huh?
Well, I'm sure there's a free trial to it, but I don't know what the limitations are. And it's also an extension of Adobe Premiere, which is, I don't know if you've run Adobe, but that's how many thousands of dollars for Adobe.
Oh, yeah.
For Photoshop and all, InDesign and all those.
Yeah.
So yeah, podcasts, you can do it. You can do it really simple, and you can do it really elaborate.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we have the means to do a little bit more, and so that's just what I'm doing. And you've done a lot with what you've got. You don't have help. I've got a staff.
Yeah.
You don't. I could only imagine, and I'm still busy and headache. All right, let's put this out on this and this. And it's a lot.
Yeah, when you're doing this by yourself, you're like the editor, producer, writer. Gotta go get the people too to cold call people as well.
Yep, and all in the same time, I still got to run my business.
Yeah.
So I hear you, man. It's a lot. So people out there in YouTube land don't understand how much work goes into these things, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, but it's fun. I want to say I've been enjoying the process.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, I was like. So the other question I was going to ask you too: are you going to plan to take it on the road, or are you going to just strictly be like in house?
I would really like to take it on the road, so to speak, do on locations. But there's restrictions to recording and stuff in public spaces, so you have to get the permission of the people.
Yeah.
But I think, in fact, me and Judy and Veronica, Veronica?
Which Veronica?
Ochoa. One of Judy's friends.
Yeah.
So we actually we tested out a little idea at Dylan's, and hopefully we can make that happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, but that's a little ways away.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe I wouldn't mind being able once start doing some more days and get restaurant owners to come in. Then that way I could do some podcasts at the location. Even trying out the food or something,
That's
just promoting.
I've had that same thought going to like Tequila's on Gulfway or something and set up in the back and put a camera because the stuff is kind of mobile.
Yeah.
And just bring a team, but again, it takes a team to help you do that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible to do it by yourself, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah. And you say you're married, right? You got a wife.
Yeah, 100%.
How does she like you doing this podcast?
Oh, she don't mind it. It's probably not her cup of tea. I mean, a buddy of mine told me today, because I made a joke on the last podcast that I said I only go to the gym to look at the hot girls.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, your wife's going to see that. And I'm like, man, my wife, we've been together for 16 years, man.
Yeah.
There's like...
she knows how you are.
That's just... Yeah. It's a joke's a joke. And I really, I go to the gym at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm really working out with retired people. So unless I want a gilf, I'm not there for the chicks.
Interesting. So you ever going to interview her, you think, or have her in a podcast?
Man, she's not like, so she's told like, you said like I'm kind of outgoing and kind of stuff, and that's just not her. Like you get a few drinks in her, she's good, but she's talked about, maybe doing a podcast with one of my employees and like they could talk about movies, but that's about as far as all, because she likes movies, and one of my employees, he's really big into movies. So she's like, I would do a podcast and talk about movies, but that's about as far as the conversation has gotten so far.
Yeah.
My daughter now, on the other hand, she wants to have like High School Confidential, on the podcast. She was like, really? Dad, you're so embarrassing. I went to the pep rally and all these guys were coming up to me and like, your dad has a podcast? And she was like, you're so embarrassing. And then she goes, can I be on the podcast? Can me and Olivia be on the podcast? Yeah. So she wants to do one, and I'll probably do one with her.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
At the end of the day, the way I looked at it with the podcast is, let's say I do it for a year or 3 years or 6 months, who knows?
Yeah.
10 years from now, I'll always have these videos of my friends, acquaintances, and I can always look back in time and say, that was me in my 30s.
Yeah. Or even then, they could look back.
Yeah, that's to me. I'm big with the nostalgia, right? So one day I might not be here, and my daughter, she'll be able to look back on the podcast episode that we do, because we will do one.
Yeah.
And she'll always have that.
Yeah. I think once you hit like a certain age, you probably already start thinking, okay, I'm not going to live forever. You know what I mean?
The problem I'm running into is that my podcast is not very PG-13 friendly. And so, like, I know several people who won't let their kids watch it. The kids know me, and they won't let them watch it. So, I guess we'll do a PG-13 version of the podcast.
That's just for the kids.
Just for kids, yeah. But like, my daughter's in high school, so it's like, they're a lot more grown up than we were in high school.
Mm-hmm. I know you said you talked to Judy and your other friend, right? I think, what was her name? Veronica. Like, any tips you could give out to everybody, you think, for like dating wise, what you have heard from them?
Listen, so a lot of the podcast was born because these different females would I don't say cry on my shoulder, but they would like to talk about their problems.
Oh yeah.
And they thought their problems were theirs and theirs alone. And when you find out, and I tell them all, y'all are all the same. All you women are the same. And I don't mean that in a bad way or misogynistic way. All you women are the same. Y'all have the same problems, And one of the goals of the podcast is when some of these women come on and they get to hear from this girl over here who they've never met, and it's like, oh, she's dealing with the same stuff I'm dealing with. So I'm not alone in it.
Yeah.
And so girls are moody. Let's just be honest. Guys, girls are moody.
Yeah. They're driven by their emotions. That's the facts right there.
Right. And so, and listen, some guys take me the wrong way because, I am out there with single women a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so they think of that I'm hitting on their girl or whatever. But the reason that girls, I think females, I don't say gravitate to me or are comfortable around me, is because I don't want anything from them.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want sex. I don't want, I don't want anything from them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you want to buy me a beer, you can go ahead.
Yeah, but like these guys, they come up and approach women in a bar.
Yeah.
They want something, and and the girls can tell, and they're putting on an act. And when I come around, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
And it's just a normal vibe, and I don't judge. And I try to tell a lot of my single guy friends, or the ones that I have, you can't approach women in the bar and just like they can read it on your face. Like if you're wanting a certain outcome, they can feel that. But if you go up to them and just genuinely want to know who they are, well, you'll get a lot farther.
Yeah. And I think especially if we're not right now with the new generation, they're probably lacking that social skill right there.
Right. I always say you gotta make them laugh, but
yeah. That's.
But I have no advice because I'm a happily married man and I don't do anything outside of a marriage. But no, listen, in all reality, too many guys they go and they put on a front and they think they got to be macho or they got to be this. They got to act like they have a lot of money.
So you don't subscribe to like the red pill thing where they try to push out, I guess, where they try to, I don't want to say put down girls a lot.
No, listen. Most women want a masculine man.
Yeah,
and what that means, like, hey, you're going to make a decision, and it's not it's not a misogynistic type thing. It's like they're so tired. Like women are so tired of making decisions through, especially single women, right? Because most of the people our age are single moms, so they got a household to run. They're stressed. They just want somebody to say, hey, we're going to dinner here at this time.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have your bad apples and good apples if it's women or men.
You ever heard the saying that women don't like nice guys?
Yeah.
Well, the reason they don't like nice guys is because nice guys, true nice guys, they're not being nice just to be nice. Yeah. They want something.
Yep.
But if you're just a genuine person, females will naturally just be okay, and they'll let their guards down. Because every girl I've ever talked to at Dillon's, Sky Bar, or anywhere, they have a brick wall that they build up, especially in their 30s. They've been traumatized. They've been either cheated on. They've been wronged by their baby daddy. Ex-husband was a jerk. So they all build this wall. And that wall's going to stay up unless they get this vibe from you.
Yeah. And like you said, nice guys sometimes are nice because they want something hidden.
Mm-hmm. And again, they can tell Like, just like, you know, as a guy, you can tell you're on social media. You can tell when a girl posts a profile pic, you know, if she's single or not, or she's wanting attention.
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact opposite for girls. They see it in person. You know, they're emotional creatures.
Yeah.
So they're about their feelings and how they feel. You don't, you know, all these guys think you got to have a 6-pack abs and make $100 billion a year. And
I'd be nice to have, but yeah, no.
But I mean, girls at the end of the day, man.
Your average girl, you just, I think at the end, a guy just wants an average girl, chill, relax. You know what I mean?
But listen, look, I mean, okay, take from me, for instance. I'm, you know, 5'7" on a good day.
Yeah.
Right? My wife is 5'11".
Oh, really?
My wife's 5'11". She's knockout gorgeous. And it's a vibe thing.
Yeah.
You just, you know, now my wife is, I always say that, you know, she's immature and I was always mature. See, I was forced to grow up early, right? And so I've always been the mature one in my family. Mm-hmm. And my wife is, I don't say immature, but, you know, her, you know, she could hang out with an 8-year-old and be perfectly happy. So, long story short, man, with females, they're all about how you make them feel.
Yeah, it's feeling. Now, would you think you'd have a hard time out there, like if you were dating?
Hell no! Look, I done told Judy I'd run through all of her friends and then some. I told, just picking, but I don't. I mean, look, I've seen the good, bad, and ugly out there on both sides of the fence, the women and the men. I wouldn't be at Dylan's finding a woman. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, I mean, they probably may have some there, you know, who's just out there.
Oh, yeah. Look, I met do you remember Woody's?
Oh, Woody's?
Yeah. So that's where I met my wife, was at Woody's, but I met her at happy hour on like a Friday maybe. Mm-hmm. And she was in town working, and so they were there for dinner. Mm-hmm. And I think me and a buddy went and grabbed a beer.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's 100% possible. You know, I like to tell Judy and all them, you know, y'all need to be going to Dylan's on Wednesday. That's steak night, right? All the operators, they go out there. The guys' night, that's when they go.
My friend group, they were going to steak night every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Yeah.
But me, I was kind of like, I got tired of eating out because my previous job, I was traveling all the time. So they were paying for food and stuff. So I just got tired of eating out all the time.
I understand, man.
Yeah, so I was just like, plus just trying to watch calories as well, too, you know.
The older we get, the more you got to watch them.
Oh, yeah. Trying to get my 6-pack, but good luck on that.
It's tough, man.
Yeah. So I know one of the questions you asked the girls was red flags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got an episode coming up with red flags. What's red flags in the opposite sex?
Mm-hmm. And what would you consider a red flag on a girl?
If her car is completely filthy.
Oh, definitely.
That is a huge red flag. I have been walking out of Dylan's, and I've seen girls pull up and have like literal trash this all over their car. And if you can't keep your car together, you can't keep your life together.
Not just that, but that's down there as well too. You know?
Oh, that's everything.
It's just everything.
That's why. Look, my stepson. So I got a stepson who's in his 20s, and when he was single, you know, he would let his beard grow and kind of. And I said, man, I'm telling you right now, a woman's going to look at your face and go, if his face looks like that, what does that look like? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, 100%. So if her car is a mess, if her car is not. I've been in girls' cars, and they're like, oh, it's dirty. No. Mm-hmm. Like, when it's filthy, if you've got McDonald's wrappers and all this kind of stuff, and you've got clothes for days in the back seat, that's a red flag in my book.
Yeah, if it looks like a homeless guy lives in that car, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you have a red flag?
Man, for real, yeah, I want to say women or girls or whatever who have, like, really long nails. Like the crazy long nails like that. That's a red flag for me. I just,
Well, that's my HR girl.
Oh, really?
I mess with her all the time. She's got these long nails. I'm not a personal fan, but to each their own.
Yeah. And then I remember one of my friends put on Facebook, hey, what's a red flag if I want to wipe up a girl's leg? And I told him just jokingly, If she loves Bad Bunny, that's a red flag. If she has to go to his concert all the time, yeah, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah. I've got a girl coming up on the podcast. Every time I see some Bad Bunny stuff, I'll buy it for her.
All right.
She's just like a freak about Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And man, I'm not sure. I guess I liked his first couple of songs when he came out, but now I just don't like him no more. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. To me, it seems like he's been acting too like feminine. You know?
I have heard that.
Yeah. So I want to say like, and I don't know why if guys are following his footsteps just because of the girls like him, you know, like that. You know what I mean? I think it's in a way, if you follow that, it's kind of making you less masculine. You know?
See, women don't even understand why they like Bad Bunny. I know why they like Bad Bunny. He's got confidence.
Yeah, confidence.
I mean, it takes a confident man to get up on stage in front of thousands of people, and like that's why you see some of the ugliest singers or whatever.
It's all about status. Yeah. Well, not all about status, but
it's just a vibe, and that's what I say. Like, women are way more about how you make them feel, if they're comfortable around you. Now, is that to say, like, you know, some hot guy on TV, like, yeah, of course they're going to find like him attractive, but at the end of the day, they're all about that. They're all about how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with enough of them to know.
Yeah.
I'm in a group chat with all females. I'm the only guy.
Oh, really?
We call it Area 51, and yeah, it's.
I know probably Judy's on that chat, right?
Judy's in it. We call it Area 51 because they said they would probably have better luck with aliens than they would men.
What do you have Judy as on your phone in her name?
Judy.
Just Judy?
I don't. You know, I don't play game. Again, I'm married, so if my wife ever goes through my phone, there's nothing. I think one time my wife saw me. I was snapping Veronica, and her Snapchat is, you know, her name, and it's got, or used to, it might not be now, but it had like kissy lips. She's like, "Why do you got kissy lips on Veronica?" I was like, "I don't have kissy lips on Veronica. Veronica has kissy lips on Veronica." Of course, my wife, she don't do Snapchat, so she don't understand any of it.
Man, yeah, Snapchat, some of the girls be going crazy ham on the Snapchat, man. To me, it's like, though, if you have that, like, the little ticker on the top, like, you're just stuttering right there, yeah, I'm not going to watch all of that.
Oh, yeah. I think that's another red flag. If a girl posts a lot of selfies on Snapchat.
Yeah. Or even when they had to put, like, a whole video on Snapchat, like, girl, it's not a video chat, it's a Snapchat. Just take a little snap.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine. She went to a concert the other day, and she had like 40 snaps on her thing. I was like, I'm not watching this. I don't need a whole video of the snap.
Yeah, she didn't even enjoy the concert.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like a waste of money right there.
Yeah, but I would say big red flag is too many selfies on social media.
Yeah, you need that attention.
Now, listen. I know a girl. She was a realtor, and I'll say this because some of the people who are going to watch this podcast are going to know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But she was a realtor, and man, she would post selfies every day, full mirror selfies every morning of what she was wearing, selfies all the time. And then she cheated on her boyfriend. Imagine that, and got with this new guy, and she and he wifed her up, or and got engaged, and like she deleted all of her social media. Like, she like deleted.
Damn, she was just okay.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey,
you gotta respect that." Right there,
I'm proud. I don't want to say not many women do that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not possible, but that's a different story. If you're a single woman and you want to show what's for sale, go ahead. But it is a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah, it's not the same way with me. If I was with somebody and they just kept on posting booty pics, or like, hey, that's supposed to be mine right there. Advertisement right there.
There are women who are married who are doing that.
Yeah,
on Snapchat,
and they just don't get it. You know what I mean? You're trying to get attention from you are getting attention from other guys. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah. How does your man feel about that? You know what I mean? Or the thing is, well, as a man, why aren't you getting upset about it?
Maybe they got them blocked.
Yeah.
Private stories. You can hide people from your stories on Snapchat.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No.
Women, they ain't shit.
Yeah, those are red flags for me. I I will say something, and then from there I'll see if what she will do. You know what I mean? I won't get upset, but I'll just let her know and see if she gonna change, if she gonna stop posting it, or if she continues. So I might have to just say something, and then I won't see that relationship going that much further. You know.
So has a girl said anything about what you post on social media? Like she don't like you posting this about you?
Well, man, the only thing I post about myself, you don't got me on my Snapchat. It's probably maybe my arms or whatever, after coming out from the sauna and from Exogen and stuff like that. Just seeing progress. But yeah, if I was with somebody, I probably wouldn't be posting stuff like that.
That's
like
fair.
I said, I would respect that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I just wonder because we always sit here and talk about what women post, but I wonder if what we post that women don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I don't know. Me personally, if I was with somebody, 100% be with them. You know what I mean? I couldn't see me cheating on them or anything like that, because then on top of that, then you have to really think about it. If you have friends who are cheating on their girls and stuff like that, or wife or whatever, you have to really think about it. Do you think if they can be faithful to their wives, the person that's sharing the house with or whatever, how can you kind of trust them? You know what I mean?
That's it. I mean, that's the big thing. And unfortunately with social media and everything nowadays, there are a lot of bad females out there who want the attention, and vice versa. And as you know, some of our single female friends will tell you their ex-husbands and stuff, fell victim to that, in that novelty of what is a new relationship. Some people are addicted to that feeling of just the newness of a relationship. And you cannot have that in a relationship that's 7 years old. No matter how hard you try to keep the spark alive, you can never replicate what it was in the first couple of months of a relationship. You can't. And so these men and women, they get addicted to that feeling, and they like the way that makes them feel.
Yeah.
So that's what, and then social media just, makes it prevalent. So, you ever heard the saying, like, money doesn't change you, it just exposes who you are?
Yeah.
Same thing with social media, I think.
Yeah.
It just exposes who you are. If you're a piece of shit, I mean, you're
gonna be
gonna be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
100% agree with that. And do you know anybody who does OnlyFans and stuff like that?
I do. I do know one person who used to do an OnlyFans. I've actually found out today that she doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I've never been on OnlyFans, so don't.
Oh no, same here.
Don't start no crap with me and my wife. Yeah. Please don't.
Even as guys, don't even be on. Don't pay for it. Why? I just like, why are you gonna pay for that? Really?
I mean, so I think what the allure that gets them, or like for a guy to pay for it, is like, oh, I can see that girl that I really know. That's a real person.
Yeah.
I can see her, like and I think some of the girls, it's like like the ones that do it around here, there's like, oh, I'm hot, I have an OnlyFans. Well, if you were that hot and on OnlyFans, you wouldn't be working a job too, because OnlyFans would support you. Yeah. But yeah, OnlyFans, it's kind of a weird concept. I was talking the other day about Tinder. I've never been on Tinder, so I've always been curious of what it's like. I hear it's the Wild West, but to me, okay, we talk about red flags. Big red flag right there. She's got an OnlyFans.
Yeah, red flag.
No, thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, they're gonna have a lot of the girls. They don't probably realize they're gonna have consequences for that, because I even heard a story of one kid. He actually committed suicide because his friends were bullying him because his mom had OnlyFans.
And unfortunately, too, like one thing, so I have a daughter that's in high school, right? Mm-hmm. She's a freshman in high school. And one of the things that, that me and my wife have tried so hard to teach her, and we think we've done a good job, is that nude photos don't go away. Yeah. Ever. And so, and she's kind of found that out, like a lot of her, I won't say a lot, but more, I would say a lot compared to when I was a freshman. But, several girls at that school, their nudes have been leaked. through the whole freshman class.
Yeah.
And it's just like, every time we just, hey, you see what we're talking about? Like, you think you might be sending it to your boyfriend, but he is showing the football team. And yeah, but, could you imagine if your mom had an OnlyFans, like growing up? I mean, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, I could imagine we thought we had it tough when we were young, but I could imagine how the kids have it more tough now just because of the social media.
My daughter's got to put up with the bullshit that I got a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, but going back to the podcast, so you can continue to make it grow. And
yeah, so I've got, access to some pretty cool people coming up. Like, I've got a guy, we're about to shoot an episode, and he's willing to talk about it. He is overcoming addiction, like drug addiction, food addiction, sex addiction. Like, he's had it, and he's willing to talk about it openly, and that's cool, and that could help a lot of people out there. I've got a buddy that, in fact, I'm going to tell you this right now. I miss going to have dinner tonight in Vegas to come do the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my buddy wanted me to fly to the Wynn with him tonight and eat dinner, but he's going to be on the podcast. We'll talk about, his business was doing, I remember when it was in probably a place about this size. And then last year, I think he was like $1.5 million short of $100 million in revenue.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So we're going to sit down and have real conversations about that.
Yeah.
And everything in between, from newly married couples to anything I can think of that I think we would want to, that I would want to listen to, then that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other topics to talk about.
So you do all the editing and stuff for here. Do you work shift work? I don't know.
Oh, no. I'm an engineer.
So you're an engineer?
Yeah, I work 4/10, so I kind of like that schedule right there.
Hey, that's not a bad schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like we were talking about earlier. It's a lot of editing and a lot of time goes into this.
Yeah. I think I got the flow of things, how to edit, like how I want to edit for now. Just trying to make it simple as I can. I got like my intro already saved and my outro already saved as well too. So I just gotta put in a few clips, then just go through the video, cut the ones that I don't need and cut it, whatever. But I need to start doing what you're doing, something like on shorts or whatever. And I think that's gonna take longer right there. That's where.
And again, like I said, I've got a team that helps me.
Yeah.
So, I'm paying people. I have people on my salary every week.
Yeah.
To help, and you just, it's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
You can really dive into this, and because you take these videos that are an hour long and you're trying to cut them down to 30 seconds and then post them for all these different specs, because TikTok specs are different than Instagram and YouTube. YouTube will allow 60-second shorts. TikTok will allow 10 minutes.
See, I don't even have a TikTok account right now.
Oh yeah, you need a TikTok account, because I'll tell you, you need to pick the best video that you got.
Yeah.
Once you get there, get the best videos you got and make that your first video, because people don't know this about TikTok, but your first video on TikTok, they give you a purposeful dopamine rush, and they will boost your views for free because they want you to get as many views as possible.
Oh, okay.
So that you feel good. Mm-hmm. Now, your first view can just be you eating a sandwich, like your first video, eating a sandwich. You're going to get like almost 1,000 views. Yeah, because they're going to push it to everybody. Your next video, could be a girl running naked through the yard, and it's going to get 200. So the algorithm's a little different, but if you come out the gate hot, you could really gain a lot of followers. Yeah. TikTok.
Oh, how about mistakes? Have you gotten like mistakes where you were recording or doing a podcast?
Yeah, like only one time when we were, so I do another podcast for my business, and we were doing a business podcast, and I forgot to press record on the camera. So we had the audio, but we didn't have the video. So we did like a 30-minute segment, and I was like, man, I can't see, the monitors aren't playing back. And, I just didn't hit record.
Yeah. I have had a couple of mishaps. First was with Judy and Diana.
Mm-hmm. Was that your first episode?
Oh, no. My first one was actually with my friend Eric. Uh-huh. But my demo one I did with my friend Jim and Ray, right? Mm-hmm. And I couldn't upload that one because, like we talked about, some people are not comfortable talking to the mic like this, and they can't talk like that. but you then can't hear them. Or they talk like this, like that.
Yeah, you can't hear them.
Yeah, so I really couldn't use. Maybe I could go back and snip some stuff. Maybe I could use that. But my friend Eric was the first one, and that was really short, and that was really like my first time, so like very uncomfortable for me. Then when I did with Diana and Judy, the issue I came across there is that apparently the little Zoom there, once it gets low on batteries, it stops recording. And the funny part about that is it's supposed to be a podcast. Tell me why we had to do like 3 takes.
Well, I mean, like, again, you know, equipment, it's learning the equipment. And the more you do it, I guess the better you get.
Oh, no, this is well, if we would have done the first one right, I would have got all the audio and stuff like that. But when I asked the question, something about the first question was, how do you guys see the dating in Southeast Texas?
Oh, so you're talking about Judy and them wanted to do it a certain way and they wanted to redo it?
No, my friend Diana, she wanted to just hand on, like, on the guys, you know, what's wrong with you guys and all that stuff. Like, whoa. We don't want the guys to kind of hate us, you know what I mean? We're trying to discuss.
Look, at the end of the day, people want a podcast. If they want to listen to something, they don't want something scripted. Or again, it's like that nice guy energy, right?
Yeah,
like, they could tell if you're faking it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tell people it takes a lot of work to make, you know, these episodes come off as off the cuff, you know, to make natural conversations flow, because this is unnatural to have a microphone between me and you and have a conversation.
Yeah.
So the more that you can get people to forget that this microphone's here and that camera's there, the more watchable these things become.
Yeah.
And because that's what that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see when you watch, you know, when you watch either television or YouTube videos. You want to see the most natural thing possible.
Yeah. I still have the clip, but I don't know if they're going to want me to post it up. But I call it, yeah. I mean, like I said, that's one reason. Another reason that I want to do it just kind of help me, because when I was younger, I was more like very timid. You know what I mean? So this kind of helps me put out there. Plus, at work, sometimes I got to do meetings and got to present. So I believe this should help me out as well.
I fully believe that it will. It'll help you gain confidence in talking to strangers, looking strangers in the eye. You know, public speaking is a scary thing for a lot of people. And if you just realize how little people think of you, like people don't care about what you look like. I mean, you know, like people are weird about being on camera. Like, I want to look a certain way, especially the girls. I want to, you know,
how's my makeup and all that stuff.
But they'll walk into Dylan's on a Saturday night and just be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's one thing I told my son when he was little, you know what I mean? Because my son, he's 20 years old. Oh, he's about to be 20 in the May. I told him, man, just let you know, nobody cares about you. Yeah. The world, I mean, yes, I care. You know, I think you're special. Your mom thinks you're special. Your family member thinks you're special. Even your friends who are really close to you, you think you're special. But the world won't.
I mean, you know how many friends I had when we were 3 episodes in? It was like, wait, you have a podcast? And if that don't tell you something, you know, like I'm talking about friends, like friends I still stay in touch with from high school. They were like, wait, what? And you see as much as we blast stuff out. Yeah. I mean, it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. The only thing we're not on is Twitter, because who uses Twitter around here? And it's like, even my closer friends did not know I had a podcast until recently. Yeah.
I put mine on Snap, Instagram, and then Facebook as well too, just to kind of somewhat promote it or whatever.
But it just lets you know how little people.
Yeah, they have their own things going on, which is understandable. You know what I mean?
Do you think the single mom right now, who's at home at 6:30, who just worked a long day, is worried about what El Guero Sancho's wearing on a podcast in Port Arthur? No. Yeah. I mean, and vice versa, man. Guy comes out of a plant, work 12 hours a day. Judy's on a podcast. You think he's like?
I mean, she's checking that booty. Maybe they maybe.
But he ain't judging the outfit. You know what I mean? But I think that's. More people need to learn that. You know, people aren't out there judging you all the time.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that you are successful.
I'll try.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this will be successful. But hopefully, we could get the community together and let people know, hey, in Southeast Texas, even though we're living here, I mean, we should make the best out of it.
Yeah, and that was kind of like I get people because obviously I'm white, and I named the podcast Hey Wedo, right?
Yeah.
And I got friends. What is Guero?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you that. How did that name came up?
Okay, so if you watch my podcast, you'll see that I do the same thing every time when I start. I'll say I've been told that I'm everybody's favorite Wedo, El Wedo Sancho.
Yeah.
So when I say that I'm everybody's favorite Wedo, it's because one of the girls who really has supported me in all of this and hey, you need a podcast. She used to always say, you need a shirt that says I'm everybody's favorite Wedo.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that as a nod to her. And with Veronica and Judy, they always call me a Wedo Sancho.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I go by. I don't even go by my real name on that podcast.
Yeah.
That's a nod to Veronica and Judy. And another really close friend of mine who, from as long as I can remember, has called me Wedo.
Yeah.
She's Wedo, mi Wedo. That's me Wedo.
Yeah.
And so I named the podcast, as a nod to her. It's Hey Wedo.
It's more like it's an endearment name,
Yeah.
What I mean?
So
like
people think it's,
what I mean?
Yeah. People think it's my alter ego, but it's 1,000% not that. It is a nod to the people in my life who wanted me to do it and supported me in doing it. So it's a nod, and every episode is the same at the beginning, and that's the reason I do it.
Okay, nice. You think you can do any like merchandise or anything like that? You think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I have. I'll reveal it here on the podcast. I've got some fajita seasoning coming, El Wedo Sancho fajita seasoning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, coming. Yeah, because my dad owned Durham's Cash Market down in Port Arthur on Gillum Circle for many years, and we had seasonings, and it was a meat market.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up that. I developed a chicken seasoning that I put out right now.
Yeah.
And now I've kind of developed a fajita seasoning, and so probably before the end of the year we'll have a Wedo Sancho seasoning.
Oh, nice. I gotta try that out. Let me know when you get them out, because I would definitely buy some. I want to definitely support like all the local companies here.
And that was kind of been my goal too, and support local businesses around here. The local, we got really good food around here, from the Cajun influence to the Mexican influence to the Vietnamese influence, like the Viet Cajun food, all that good stuff. So support local business, because if the businesses survive here, the better the community is, because the businesses are the ones who pay taxes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. And where can people find you?
So you can find me on YouTube at Hey Wedo Podcast, on Instagram at hey.wedo.podcast, and on Facebook at heywedo.podcast, on Spotify, Hey Wedo, Apple Podcast, Hey Wedo.
Oh, you out there. Out there. I'm just in YouTube. That's all. But yeah, man, I'm glad you came over here, man, because you actually inspired me to maybe step up my game.
Good deal, man. I appreciate you inviting me out here.
Okay, anytime. All right.
Good deal, man.
All right, guys. Make sure you guys follow him, all right? All right, peace out.